Shalom, brothers and sisters. Thank you all for stopping by to watch on this wonderful Shabbat. I hope and pray that you are having a wonderful day. Today, tomorrow, this weekend, next week. Also, please remember the family at the Needy Homesteader. If you don't know about them, I did a video a few days ago about it, and there's certainly several other videos out there. I see that a lot of the Homestead channels are producing videos on them, and I'm very thankful for that. It's a fellow homesteader YouTube family that was in a very, very tragic car accident. The husband was killed on impact, and the rest of the family is really suffering from that, and they certainly need your prayers. So I ask that you continue to remember them in prayer. So what I want to talk about today, it's actually a song. And it's a song that it's been out for several years. It's a contemporary Christian kind of praise and worship song. I haven't heard the song in quite a while. And it was funny, I was on YouTube scrolling through, and you know how they have all these suggested recommended videos, and this was one of them. And so I clicked on it, and it just I think I started realizing maybe where we're missing things with all this stuff that's going on. We talk about it on the regular part, you know, of this channel during the week. All the stuff that's going on, the craziness, how the world seems to just be in this downward spiral, whether it be politically and economically and morally. It's awful, right? Well, this song, it's from a group called Casting Crowns, and it's called "A Praise You in the Storm." I'll put a link to the video so that you can hear if you're not familiar with it. A lot of you probably are. It's a very popular praise and worship song. But when I was listening to it, it was like the Father just, you know how sometimes you feel like you just get slapped up in the face, kind of to wake you up. Not a mean way. It's just one of those, hey, are you listening? Do you hear this? That's kind of what it was like. And then the lyrics says that, you know, he's basically the singer. He's saying, you know, things are really bad. Like, things are really bad right now in my life. And I just figured that you would just fix it. I mean, you know, that you would just snap your fingers, Father. I mean, you're the creator of all things. And I figured you'd just snap your fingers and it would just be fixed. And it's not. And I'm still going through this stuff. I'm still experiencing this. And then he goes on to say, but even in the storm, I can hear your voice. I can hear your whisper and know that you're with me. And even though it's still raining, I know that you're there, and I know that you can hear me. I know that you're with me, and I can feel you. I may have to stop a little bit. I may have to pause because it's so noisy around me, the rain and the wind and the lightning and the thunder. So sometimes I can't hear you. I can't feel you. But if I pause and I listen, I can. And then in the song, he realizes that he must praise him in the storm. We must praise him in the storm. We can't be fair weather friends, okay? We can't be fair weather children of the Most High, that we're only going to praise him in times of plenty and good. There's stories in the Bible that'll tell you how that turned out for some people. And for most people right now, I would say that it's probably not plenty and good. I mean, some people may be doing decent, but I think that probably most of you that are listening to the sound of my voice would admit that we're living in a world right now where things seem to be spiraling out of control. That things are getting worse almost every day. It seems like almost every day. And I struggle personally with not really, I mean, losing complete interest in what's going on in the world. It's like I already know it's bad. Like, I don't need to hear that it's bad, you know, badder. It's worse every day. I already know it's that bad. But on the other hand, I feel I have an obligation to at least stay on top of most current events so that we can talk about them on here occasionally. So I bounce back and forth with this, wanting to completely sever my internet ties, other than obviously doing these videos. And then, you know, at least keeping up with some things so that I can, you know, bring things to you and we can talk about current events. So there's a struggle there. Because it's overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. Just in the past year, I'm sure most of you have heard of it too. There's been cases, you know, the cases of depression has gone up. The amount of people taking medication for depression has gone up. The amount of suicides, people committing suicide because of all the stuff going on. It's on the rise. It's because things are getting worse. We are living in a wicked world. We are living in a world that is trying to run as fast and hard away from truth and righteousness and the creator of truth and righteousness. This is the world that we live in. But you and I, as followers, as believers, as of children of the Most High, we can't just be fair weather friends. We can't just, you know, well, we'll praise you. It's a good day. We'll praise you. Oh, it's a beautiful day and things are going great in my life. Yay, I can praise you now. And then, you know, a few days later, it's horrible. Everything's horrible. Kids don't listen to me. Forgot to pay the electric bill and now they shut it off. You know, the car won't start. My husband got fired today. It's horrible. How can I praise you now? Like, why praise you now? My world's falling apart. Like, what's there to praise? We can't do that. We have to realize that even in the storm, that's the most important time. It's the most important time. It's kind of like a relationship between a husband and a wife. It's easy to love your wife and to love your husband when things are going great. It is, right? When your wife is, you know, being all nice and sweet and, you know, oh, here, honey, I made you something special. Oh, I got your coffee done. Or you know, for, you know, your husband comes in and he rubs your shoulders and he's loving on you more than normal. Oh, it's easy to love him then, right? How easy is it to love your husband and wife when they're in a bad mood? When they're just grumpy? When they're sick and tired of the junk that's going on in their life? They're tired of these kids not listening. They're tired of all the work they have to do. They're tired of slaving away all day while you're at work. And you come home and all you want to do is put your feet up on the couch, not do anything. And I'm still trying to cook dinner. You know, all these things. I'm married, I know. There's times that you have to work to make the marriage work. There's times you have to work to love your wife or to love your husband. But those are the most important times. Because if you don't love your husband or wife in those times, then there's not really any point in being married. There's no point in being together, right? It's just like our relationship with him. If we can't praise him, worship him, you know, and love him during the worst of times, we have no business saying that we are children of his. And so I was really convicted when I heard that song. And like I said, I used to listen to it when I was younger, when it came out. I listened to more, I guess because I'm older, I listen to more kind of, you know, mountain music, bluegrass. I've kind of gotten into that more and more. I mean, I've always have, but more and more I'm getting into it more. So I haven't listened to that kind of contemporary praise and worship in a while. Not that there's anything wrong with it. But man, when I heard that song, there was such conviction that all this stuff that's been going on for the last year or so, that you've been complaining about, that you've been getting prepared for, that you've been talking about this, and not just the craziness, but and when I say that, I'm talking about the health crisis stuff, you know. But I'm saying, like, where the morality of this world, of this nation, where it's getting to the point that you don't even want your children to leave your home. We're so thankful that we live out here. You know, my wife and I was just talking, it was either this morning or yesterday morning. I'm getting old and I forgot when. But we were talking about how blessed we are to be able to raise our children out like this and to not have to send them to school, because the vulgarity, the evilness, the wickedness that is in these schools nowadays. And so we feel so fortunate enough that we, you know, very blessed, and we thank him every day for that. But it's in the times that we are experiencing this, where it looks like all is lost. And it may be the end of this great country that we live in. We may be watching the beginning of the end. A lot of us believe that we are. We're watching the morality just fall apart. We're seeing that you and I, believers like us, are becoming a smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller minority. And we're also seeing a government begin indicating that you know, there could be restrictions against people like us. I mean, it could get to that point someday. It's in these times that we should praise him the most. We should worship him. We should call out to him and be thankful. Be thankful that we have him. Because here's the deal. Everyone's going to go through storms in their lives. The most wicked person in the world, the most atheist, whatever, they're going to go through storms too. But you and I, we have someone so special, the most powerful, the most omnipotent, the most loving, the most caring being in this universe on our side, looking out for us, that loves us, and that has taken us into his care. And we should praise him for that, because he didn't have to. I mean, us compared to him would be like you and I caring about the little piece of dust that's under our foot. That's kind of the comparison. At least it's the best I can come up with right now. So there's no reason, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to care for us. And we've already proven, no matter how devoutly religious you are, we've all proven already that we're really not worthy of it. We're all so sinful, and yet he still does. So no matter how bad things are, and there are some bad things out there, and you know, this Homestead family that I've mentioned, a personal friend of ours, mine and my wife, had experienced a really great loss also this week. We've been on the phone with them. They live several states away, but we've been on the phone with them just about every day, talking and praying with them. There's a lot of loss out there right now. There's a lot of hurting out there. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of destruction. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of evil and wickedness. It's like we're just watching this darkness just completely envelop the world that we live in. But now is not the time to give up. Now is not the time to say, why call his name anymore? I mean, you know, look at what world we live in. Now is the time to praise him even more, because he's still out there. And it's not that he's not trying to talk to us. It's that sometimes we won't be quiet long enough to actually listen to him. It's kind of like my kids. Sometimes I've learned it's better to whisper when I'm trying to get their attention than to try to yell over them. You know how it is with little ones? If you talk louder, they get louder. The louder you get, the louder they get. Sometimes you have to say, hey, listen to me. And then they stop. They know they have to be quiet to hear you. That's what happens a lot of times with us. It's we and this world that we live in that's causing so much noise that we can't hear him. It's not that he's not speaking. It's that we're just not listening good enough. So whatever storm that you're living in right now, whatever storm you're walking through, whatever which way the wind is blowing and the lightning is crashing, and the water's rising and the waves are slapping against you, or the cold wind that you're in, know that there is someone much greater than that wind, It's much more powerful than that lightning. Someone that can move mountains. Someone that created those mountains. Someone that created the storm. And that person is on your side. And we should praise him. We should continue every day. We should train ourselves, because I think that wicked side of us doesn't want to. That's what we kind of have to practice. Like sometimes loving your spouse. It doesn't always come natural. Sometimes it does, but not always. We have to push ourselves at times to remember to worship his name, to remember to praise him and to thank him. And even when we're doing the mundane things, or we're doing the things that we don't like, or we're dealing with the tragic things that are so painful, it's in those moments that we need to take the time and we need to praise him and praise him in the storm. All right, folks, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. And again, if you're not familiar with the song I'm speaking of, there will be a link to it in the description below. All right, catch you in the next video.